What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video in learning PHP object-oriented programming. My name is QDS Dan and you guys watching my channel Wood. Alright, so in this video we're going to see how we're going to create from interfaces from multiple classes. So in the previous video we have created the interface which a lot of multiple classes implemented the interface. So what happens if you have two for example parent in interface like mother and father? That's what we're going to create in this video. Say for example we have an interface, for example father, and we're going to implement a function. For example, we're going to put a public and we're going to say function and we're going to put a date, for example. Okay, so we're going to create another one. It says interface mother. All right, and then we put a public function and we put a mom. All right, so now we have two interfaces. We have interface father and we interface mother. Now we come in interface, for example interface son, our interface daughter. For example, we're going to put a, for example, daughter. So now the interface daughter gonna come in extends father and mother. Say for example we're gonna put it extends father and mother. All right, so now interface daughter, if you're looking here, extends from the father and from the mother, which is here, and this one's implementing the function date, and this one's implementing the function mom, and here, and this one's going to implement the public. We're going to put a function. Okay, so we have an interface father, we have interface mother, and we're going to put a public function. We put a Victoria, for example, Victoria. All right, so now Victoria is a daughter, and Victoria implements the interface mother and implements the father. That's how we're going to do it, because the interfaces extends from each other. Say for example if you have multiple interface here, then this interface daughter, whatever interface you're going to put a son or daughter, because this comes as equal. You can think of the class hierarchy, it extends from the father and mother. And look at here, this have its own function. And now what happens, because if the class daughter, which is Victoria, gonna have her own kids, for example, then we can do that. We can put a class Victoria kids, then the Victoria kids class Victoria kids implements what the Victoria kids here. So this is Victoria, and Victoria is a daughter, and Victoria's got a mother and father. So now we have a class Victoria kids implements what they implements the daughter. Now we're gonna put a daughter here. Okay, so now what's the daughter's responsibility, do you think, guys? So now the daughter has to implement this one, and this one. The daughter responsibility to implement these two, but the Victoria kids, her kids, that's a responsibility to implement all of them. You cannot leave anyone's empty, because now there is an interface father, then interface mother, and interface daughter, and extends father and mother, and daughter have its own daughter got her own function which is called Victoria, and now the Victoria kids needs to implement all of them. Cannot leave anyone empty. Say for example if we're gonna leave it empty and we're gonna go and run, for example we are here at the interface 3, so we're gonna refresh, we're gonna put interface 3, it's called fatal error, contain 3 abstract method, and you guys need to implement it. So in order for us to implement, we need to put a public function function date. So public function, and we can put a date. That's the first one, and we can put echo my granddad is Henry, for example. So my granddad is Henry, and now the Victoria kids needs to implement that one. Public function mom, for example. Public function, and we say mom. What mom's gonna implement, what mom's gonna do is gonna say that's a grandma, and the grandmother, my grandmother, my grandmother name is Adelaide, for example. Okay, so my father name is Henry and my mother name is Adelaide. Okay, now you're gonna we're gonna come in the last. You guys cannot leave any empty. For example, if we implement 2 and if you refresh, we're gonna again have the same problem because you guys need to implement all of them. So it's gonna come here because it's this one's implementing the daughter, and the daughter implements the mother and father. So PHP is going to be satisfied if he implements all of them. So if, for example, now you're going to come here and put a public function Victoria, then we put a Victoria, and we can echo my mother name is Victoria. Okay, that's the Victoria kids, our Victoria kid. You can put a kids or kid, whatever you want to do. So if you want to create more, you can put a kid, then Victoria's kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, but it's getting a little bit complicated, so I don't want to get it I don't want to confuse you guys too much, because this is the easiest example I can give you, a real world example, because we all have a mom and dad, and we all have a grandma and grandpa. So that's a father, interface father, and interface mother. That's a daughter, that's a third one, and the daughter implements the father and mother. And Victoria kids, say for example surname, if the father is Henry, then the mother is going to be, for example, her own surname, then the daughter is going to inherit from mom and dad both surnames. And usually people, they have their inherit, say for example mother's surname as their second name in the middle name, and the father's surname as the last name. So that's what happens here, and the Victoria kids needs to implement all. So now we're going to instantiate Victoria kids. So now we're going to come here and we put a Vic kids as objects, and new Victoria kids, and Victoria kids and Vic kids gonna inherit, gonna say for example dead, and we put an echo, we put a break, and Vic kids is gonna access the mom, and we put an echo, and we put a break, and we put a Vic kids gonna be do the last one. We're gonna for the which one we're gonna go Victoria, that's the last one we're gonna go. Alright, so now we are inheriting, we are instantiating this one Victoria kids, and because the Victoria kids here implements the daughter, and the daughter implements the mother and father. So we are instantiating the last one, And when we go there and run and look at here, my granddad is Henry, my grandmother name is Adelaide, and my mother name is Victoria. That's what happens with interfaces. So you guys need to do the class hierarchy here, and that's what happens with say for example C++. If you have a class father, and if you have a class mother, for example, same one I'm gonna show you guys in C++ what happens in C++, and the class, for example, class daughter, then we're going to say public father, and we're going to say public mother, because now this class in the, for example, this class daughter going to extend the public father and mother. Then we're going to come here Victoria kids, and then the Victoria kids come here class Victoria kid gonna be public, then it's gonna be the daughter, but that's C++, and that's exactly same concept as this guy is here. So if you're coming from C++, that's exactly same concept, but as I said, we are not doing C++, we are in a PHP, and I think it makes this one's a lot easier. So in this one you cannot just create say functions that you don't use, so you're going to be more careful with your functions, because at the end of the day PHP wants you to implement whatever class comes at the end of the line hierarchy. It needs to implement all the methods in the interface hierarchy. So there is an interface father and mother, our A, B, and the C extends that the father and mother. Keep in mind here it extends it. You guys, when it comes to interface, then you guys need to extend just like classes, as I said in the first video when we said about the interfaces. And here class Victoria, when you use class, then you use implements, because this one's you're not because this one's interface, so the interface cannot implement this one. The only time you can use implement is when you use class. So the class can implement the interface. The interface cannot implement the interface. It can extend, just like classes extends between each other. So that's how the interface works in PHP, and that's how the multiple interface works in the PHP. So you look in here, we have class created 3 class, and class here the daughter is extending the father and mother, and the class say for example the Victoria kids, which is the kids of the daughter, they are implementing the daughter. So the daughter's will, whatever the daughter put it in the will, then the daughter make sure you put my mom's name, make sure you put my dad's name, make sure you put my mom's name, and make sure you put my name. So these kids are doing her mother's will. So that's what is working. That's how the PHP works. So this is the multiple interfaces. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, which is Crywood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.